everyone, my name is Allie and welcome to my channel. So I actually just got back from the gym and we ended up going also to Walmart and Dollar Tree, and I also got a coffee. This is from one of my favorite local coffee shops. It's a pumpkin spice cold brew and it is so good. So we got that, and I don't know if you can tell, but I put up some of my fall decorations already and I'm loving them. This is one of my favorite pieces. I feel like it's not truly like the fall time era until I put this up on my bookshelf, because it just totally makes it feel like fall. So this is the start of a new vlog and I'm super excited because I feel like I haven't vlogged in a long time, and I have taken some b-roll footage. So I think you guys are gonna see that right now. I'm gonna add it, like insert it in right here. So enjoy some of the b-roll footage of things I've been doing in the past like week or so. Okay, now that you're back, you did see that I went to the book sale, which is something that happens every single year. I don't go every year, but this year I was just really excited to go and I picked up 3 books. So the first one that I picked up was Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and I actually do own a copy of Frankenstein right here that I started reading a few months ago. And as much as I love it, I don't really like reading from this copy, so I figured I would just get myself a regular old paperback copy of Frankenstein. So I got this one for $2 and super excited to read it for this fall season. The second book that I ended up picking up was Breakfast at Tiffany's by Truman Capote. I read this book in between my like freshman year and sophomore years of high school, and I remember absolutely loving it so much, so I decided to pick up my own copy because the copy that I had read I actually got from the library. So I was really excited when I saw that they had a copy of this and I was like, I need to read it. And I don't remember if I ever read the other stories that are in like this little bind up, so we'll definitely have to read that one. And then the last book that I got was In the Midst of Winter by Isabel Allende, and I really want to read this year. I read Ava Luna, I believe, was it last year, 2 years ago, and I really enjoyed it. And I haven't read another Isabel Allende book since then, so I'm like, you know what, let's pick it up. It's almost Latine Heritage Month, so I feel like that's perfect. And yeah, those are all the books that I picked up at this book sale, but I have been reading some books lately as well. I had taken out a hold for Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez a few weeks ago, and I just was like, the hold list is so long. I'm never gonna get off this stupid hold list, and I really want to read this book before the summer's over. And then literally when I was thinking that, I got a notification. I got a skip the line loan. So that means that I get it for like 7 days, and I have been reading it. I'm 69% of the way through, and oh my goodness, I absolutely love this book so much. I think that Abby Jimenez might be one of my new favorite romance authors. She's just so good. I read Yours Truly last month. Loved it. It was so fantastic. It was so good. And I'm really excited to read a lot of her other books, but Just for the Summer is just hitting different. It is so good. It's already made me cry. I love this book so much. It's basically about these two people. It kind of reminds me of Just My Luck a little bit, but not quite as like magical. But it's basically about these two people, and they end up meeting because they have like a very similar coincidental thing going on, where whoever they date ends up breaking up with them, or like they break, you know, whatever, like the relationship is over, and after that, like literally right after that, they meet their soulmate. And so they kind of find out that they both have this thing and decide to try to start dating each other in order to break this curse. And it's so good. And I love the way that Abby Jimenez like blends these like heavier topics into a more like lighthearted romance. It definitely reminds me a lot of like Emily Henry. I have heard that her first book, her debut romance, was not very good and a little bit problematic. I've read a few reviews and I'm like, either I want to stay away from this book completely, or I want to read it just to see what everybody's talking about. Because from the reviews for that first book, which I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called, but I'll put it up on the screen. From the sound of those reviews, I'm like, this sounds like a completely different person, like a completely different author. It is unrecognizable to me. A lot of the issues that people bring up in that book, in the first book, I have not seen that in these two books that I've read so far. So if you didn't like the first book that she ever put out, I definitely recommend giving her a second chance, because Yours Truly and Just for the Summer have been two of my all-time favorite books this year. So highly recommend it. And I always say, I've said, you know, if you watch me on my channel, if you've been watching for a while, I always say that I don't really like to judge authors on their debut novels. I'm a little bit more lenient. I'm a little bit more understanding when it comes to a debut novel. A lot of them can miss the mark in like a really gnarly way. So I try not to judge authors based off of like whether I did or didn't like their first book, or like one of their first books. If I had done that with Emily Henry, I did not like her collaboration with Brittany Caballero, another one of my favorite authors. They co-wrote a YA novel that I absolutely hated. If I had based my opinion on Emily Henry as a writer off of that one bad interaction with her books, I would have never read Beach Read or Book Lovers or People Meet on Vacation, etc, etc, etc. And she would have never become one of my favorite authors of all time. So I always say, even if you didn't like one of the first books that you read from an author, I mean, it's up to you, it's your choice at the end of the day, but I always say, like, give them one more chance. I'm totally that kind of person where I'm like, I'm just gonna give them one more shot, and if I don't like it the second time, that's on me, and I never have to pick their books up again. But I will always give an author at least 2 tries. Okay, so anyway, I have also been reading some other books that I just have not really liked. This month so far has just not really hit the way that I wanted it to. I just recently read The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz and ended up not really enjoying that book, unfortunately. I'll save a lot of my thoughts and opinions about that book for my wrap up, but I've just been having such a hard time finding adult thrillers, or really any thriller in general, that I actually enjoy. I feel like too often, like, thrillers have such a weird writing style that it doesn't mesh well with me. I feel like a lot of thrillers, they don't really rely on very strong characters. And now, like, I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering if the thriller genre would just kind of like fall apart with a strong lead character. I feel like you kind of need to have, like, not really a bumbling fool, but like just someone who like is kind of almost like a self-insert for like whoever's reading the book. They can just insert themselves into that character because they're so bland and dull and lifeless that you could see yourself as that character, and you don't really need to have like actual characterization for the main character. because it's just going to be you. You're just going to imprint onto that character. And that, as a character-driven reader, does not work for me. And also there's like a thing that a lot of thriller authors do that I have noticed, where they write their characters and like a lot of the circumstances around them and like other characters, they write them as if it's from the perspective of like a conservative making up what they believe a liberal or left-leaning person is. And I'm like, why are you writing it like that? It's happened to me in multiple thrillers that I've read, so maybe I'm just picking up the wrong ones. If you guys have recommendations for like good, strong thrillers with good, strong characters that don't sound like they're written by conservatives, let me know. Give me some recommendations, because I have no idea where to go. I have no idea what to look for. So definitely let me know. I want to get into thrillers. I want to like it. It just hasn't happened for me yet. Okay, so I think that that's everything that I wanted to talk about, at least for now, to like intro this vlog. It is Saturday. There's no USC playing. They have a bye week, so we don't have really like any important or exciting football to watch today. My Angels are completely eliminated from the postseason, which, I mean, I already knew that a while ago, but it's not really exciting to watch them at the moment. So we have to wait till next season. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just doing some laundry, gonna hang out, and maybe I will talk to you guys later. I might do my nails later, we'll see. I am doing some laundry. Did I already say that? Okay, yeah, I feel like that's it. I don't want to keep rambling, and I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so it is Sunday and it is currently 5:48 p.m. I spent most of my morning watching football. My 49ers were on. They unfortunately lost, so they are 1-1. I also got to hang out with my best friend. I haven't hung out with her in a really long time because our schedules never really matched up. So we finally got it to work and we ended up hanging out. We got some coffee. We went to Marshall's and Walmart, Five Below. So it was a fun day. Then I ended up going to Planet. And yeah, now we're here. Actually, it was funny. Between the time when my friend dropped me off back at home and going to Planet, I made myself a cup of coffee that I did not get to finish. So sad. But yeah, yesterday I ended up finishing Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. I actually ended up staying up really late last night finishing it. So worth it. So worth it. I absolutely loved it. I think that I can pretty confidently say right now that Abby Jimenez is one of my new favorite adult romance authors. It's kind of like a big thing to say, and that's really exciting because I've been really wanting to find like a new favorite author. So yeah, she's like up there now with Talia Hibbert, Allie Hazelwood, Emily Henry, and I actually have one of her other books out from the library, Life's Too Short, and I'm totally debating whether I want to start that right now or if I want to try to renew my loan later on, because today is actually the first day of Latine Heritage Month, so I have to start reading books by Latine authors. And so I'm like, do I want to do that right now, or do I want to give myself like a 2 or 3 days? I'm still trying to decide, so I will let you guys know maybe tomorrow what I end up deciding on. I definitely want to read that book very, very soon, but I also have like a whole TBR of books by Latine authors, so it really just depends on what I choose. We'll see tomorrow. And yeah, just hanging out, just having a good Sunday. Mourning the fact that both of my teams lost today, which is a bummer, but it's fine. The Chiefs also played today, so it was fun to see Taylor. And yeah, so I think I'm going to go maybe eat some dinner, and we'll see if I end up talking to you guys later. I probably won't. If I don't end up coming back to film another clip, then I will see you guys tomorrow. Hey everyone, so it is Tuesday today. And so far today I've just been kind of like hanging out, and I made my bed. Great. I actually did finish a book yesterday, and I ended up finishing I'll Give You a Reason, Stories by Anel Lopez. And this is technically my first book for Latine Heritage Month, which is really exciting. This one wasn't like my favorite, but I actually think it's more of my fault than the actual story collection, mainly because reading this has kind of like made me understand and realize that for me, if I want to read a collection of short stories, I want it to be horror or like speculative fiction. This one kind of teetered on the edge like of a little bit speculative, but it was really just kind of like straightforward fiction short stories, which is totally fine. But for me, I just like I felt like the entire time I was sitting there listening to this audiobook being like, man, I really wish like the shoe would drop and like it would be horror, you know what I mean? I just kept feeling like that. So I think unfortunately that's the reason why I didn't really enjoy this short story collection. But like taking that bias out, I do think that this is a pretty good collection and I would recommend it to people. You just kind of have to know what you like, and that's sort of, you know, what I'm always on the lookout for and always trying to develop is like, what are my tastes in like different genres, especially with like things like short story collections and horror and stuff like that. Like I feel like I'm still very new to those type of books, that it's really interesting to kind of like go on this journey of finding out, what do I like in a short story collection? What do I like in a horror book? It's in, you know, like what do I like when those two things overlap with each other? So this has definitely been very helpful. And I also kind of realized that just like I love horror written by Latine authors. It's just, it hits so good and it just hits different. And I just always really enjoy it, even if it's like not my favorite book or like I want to give it like a 2 or 3 star rating or whatever. Like it's still so much fun to read and so exciting. I'm totally in like the horror mood right now, which leads me to the book that I'm currently reading, which is Craft, and I am loving it so much. It's like a really interesting kind of book. It's really short, which is another thing that I love about horror fiction. I love a good short novel. I don't really love when the horror that I'm reading just kind of like goes on and on and on and like really doesn't get to the point. I'm like, I just want it to get to where it's heading, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's Craft, Stories I Wrote for the Devil by Ananda Lima. And I am really enjoying it. I think I'm almost 50% of the way through. I might be somewhere around like 39% of the way through. And it's really interesting. It almost kind of works as a short story collection, but it's really just about this one main character and the stories of her life post her meeting with the devil. And it's just so intriguing. I'm really liking it. I like the main character. I like her family. I like a lot of the different themes and topics that are being explored. Like I said, I'm really enjoying it so far. I like the writing style. I'm trying to think of anything else that I want to talk about today. I feel like I'm super boring lately. I've just been like hanging out, drinking my coffee, going to Planet Fitness, and just chilling and doing a lot of nothing. I do need to get back into writing. I kind of like took a little bit of like a break from that, and I think that was probably around when I went to San Diego. I feel like that was like the last time I actually like opened up my document at all. Which is horrible to say, but like I really need to get back into it. Also, obviously football season has started. I am a 49ers fan, and so I've been watching a lot of football. And as you guys know, I love baseball, but my team has been doing really poorly this season. And I think that might also have kind of like contributed to like me not wanting to write at the moment, because I'm obviously writing a baseball romance, so I'm not feeling super hot on baseball at the moment. But yeah, we're just hanging out. It's a Tuesday, doing a lot of nothing at the moment. Hey everybody, so it is Thursday night, and as you can tell, I actually cut my bangs. I feel like they look way better in person than they do on camera. And also, why is my white balance all messed up? What is going on? It should be fine. It just feels like it's very washed out right now. Maybe it'll be okay. I don't know. But I figured I would update you guys because I haven't talked to you guys in a while. I meant to do a little update today, but then I kind of just got sidetracked by I had to fix my nails. And then I also had to do a lot of laundry, so I feel like I just kind of got swept away in doing both of those things, and then like, I don't know, just like trying to chill out today. But I did want to update you guys because I don't think that I ever mentioned it, because I think my last update I was still reading this book, but I finished Craft, Stories I Wrote for the Devil by, oh wait, no, did I? Wait. Now I'm thinking that I did finish it before. Let me check. Just had to go back to my last clip that I filmed just to check to see if I had actually finished this book by then. And no, I did not. So I finished Craft and I ended up not rating this book. It was so close to being a 4-star read. It was so close, but it just like didn't really push it to the limit that I thought it was gonna go to in the beginning of the book. It is a really interesting concept because it does kind of operate like a short story collection, but it's not really a short story collection. And I thought that that was really interesting, and I liked the intro stories. Like I liked the first few, and then it kind of got to the halfway point and I felt like it started to fall off a little bit. It kind of lost its footing, lost its direction, and I didn't feel like there was enough A, of the main character, and B, of the devil. I would have liked to have more of both of them because I thought that that was a really interesting dynamic, and I just felt like it never really got brought up enough for there to be any purpose of having this be like a collection of stories that a fictional author wrote for the devil. You know what I mean? Like it just didn't really seem to like make sense. It felt like whenever the devil was kind of brought back up again in these stories, it was just more of an afterthought, of more of like an, oh yeah, I'm writing these stories for this concept, rather than actually having like thought out the concept and wanting to commit to it 100%. It didn't really work for me, unfortunately, but I have moved on. It was my 56th book of my reading challenge for this year, but I moved on and I'm currently reading a Sylvia Moreno Garcia book, and that is Certain Dark Things. I have it on Libby, as you guys can see. I am 51% of the way through. I am loving it so much. Sylvia Moreno Garcia can do absolutely no wrong. Like literally, I have never not loved one of her books. Like they've all gotten either 4 or 5 stars for me. And there's just something about her books that I just absolutely freaking love so much. It's kind of something that I would probably never read from any other author, but from Sylvia Moreno Garcia, I love it so much. And basically it's set in Mexico City, and in this version of the world there are vampires, and they are pretty well known throughout society, but they obviously are also hated by human society. And so it kind of follows this one homeless teenager and his friendship with this vampire, and I absolutely love it so much. So yeah, hopefully I can finish it tomorrow, and maybe we'll finish up this vlog tomorrow. So yeah, I'll see you guys on Friday. Hey everyone, so it's actually Saturday today, and I know that I said I was going to try to finish this vlog yesterday. Unfortunately, circumstances ended up changing, but I did finish a book yesterday. I ended up finishing Certain Dark Things by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, and I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars. It was really good. Not one of my favorites of hers, but still had that Sylvia Moreno Garcia magic to it, which I really loved. The world building in this book was so strong, which is something that I really appreciate across all of her books. I really love the way that she did vampires in this one. I really love the way that she illustrated Mexico City and, you know, used it within the plot. I really love these characters. There was just like a lot of things that I felt were done really well. I think the thing that just like held me back from giving it a 5 out of 5 stars is that like I just didn't personally like have any sort of like connection to it, and like that's something that's so hard to describe and so hard to sort of, you know, contextualize in a way, because it's like there just has to be that thing. Like I never really know, I can't like pinpoint exactly what that thing is. It just has to have it, and when it doesn't, like it's just like a good book, you know what I mean? I just didn't like have that like emotional reaction, or just like it just didn't like spark anything in me necessarily. So that's why it got 4 to 5 stars instead of a 5. But I still really enjoyed it. I still really loved it, and I highly recommend checking out this book. Honestly, any of Sylvia Moreno Garcia's books are worth picking up in my opinion. I haven't really met one yet where I was like, oh, that not that good, you know what I mean? Like they're all like 4 or 5 stars for me. So, and yeah, I feel like that's gonna be the entire vlog, mainly because I feel like I've been vlogging for forever, but I wanted to make sure that I had like enough interesting clips and enough like b-roll, enough me talking, etc, etc. So yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed this vlog, and if you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Also go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, Storygraph, TikTok. All the links are down below, and I will see you all in my next video, vlog, whatever it may be. Bye!